All right. Welcome to God's Prepared Warrior Roundtable Live. Hopefully, you guys can hear me out there in YouTube land. Sound check is 5 by 5. Thank you so much, Glenn. Can you believe it, guys? We are starting without any hiccups or anything. Let's knock on wood because the night ain't over yet. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm not gonna lie, I need this. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. You guys are so awesome for joining me tonight. Thank you guys over here on TikTok, all of you that are coming in. My name is Fernando. I am God's Prepared Warrior, and this channel is all about prepping. And we just thank you guys for joining us. Click that screen over here on TikTok, and let's get the hearts going so we can get this thrown out further. I don't know. I think there's a thing happening with TikTok, and it took a while to start bringing people in, so it was kind of weird. So let's get the click that screen, guys. Help me out by doing that. That helps out a lot. So thank you guys for joining, coming in, and Missy, hello. Thank you for joining me tonight. Holly, welcome for coming in. All right, so we have a lot to talk about tonight. I kind of want to talk about what happened to me yesterday. If you follow any of my social media, you're going to be like, I know what Fernando's going to talk about tonight. And and so yeah, it is something that I've been actually talking about in all of my videos, especially my morning videos. Um, and it's so important. So all of you over here on YouTube, Salt Miss, thank you for being here with me. Um, and Glenn Anderson, thank you for being here with us tonight. Also, who else is in here with us? I see that there is someone else. I don't see a name in here, but there is one more person watching from afar. So, welcome to God's Prepared Warrior Roundtable Live on this Monday night. On this Labor Day Monday, guys. I hope that you guys didn't have to work today and you were able to take the time off. I spent all my day today with family, and it was a super fun time with them, and got to get to see the kids, the grandkids, and um, it was so much fun. So all right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the channel news. If you're new here with me, the channel news is all about you guys, because you guys are the ones that make this channel, right? Y'all are the ones that are following all the content I put out. You guys are the ones that are liking all of that content. You guys over here on TikTok are clicking on that screen so that we can get that we can get this information out there. And so it's super awesome when you guys do that. And I always share this information with you because it's you guys doing it. I'm here. Sure, my name's Fernando and I created this channel, but it's you guys that helped me push this out there. And so I always thank you guys. Thank you, Brandy, for joining me. Thank you, Deb, for joining me on TikTok tonight. Let's look at this. So YouTube, as of this week, we actually had a really, really good growth spike this week. On YouTube, we are sitting at 796 followers on our YouTube, or subscribers on our YouTube page. And we are up 23 subscribers this last week. So that's super awesome. TikTok, which is my biggest content, we are sitting at 3,726. Congratulations to all of you on TikTok. We are actually up 14 new followers on our channel there on TikTok. So you guys are doing awesome. Thank you for being with me and joining me here tonight. Facebook, we gained actually one person on our Facebook page, which is pretty awesome. I'm excited about that. Our Facebook community page has remained the same. Instagram is slowly creeping to catch up with YouTube. YouTube, right? We said we're sitting at 796 subscribers. Instagram, we are sitting at 67 followers on Instagram, which is pretty awesome. We're up on Instagram, 27 new subscribers. So, YouTube, we're up 23. I mean, it's neck and neck almost, right? That's pretty cool. I love to see these numbers. It's pretty awesome. On X, we actually lost 4 people. So, I don't know. We got to pray for them. We lost 4 people. So, yeah. So thank you guys for joining me on TikTok. James, Daryl, thank you guys for joining me. Yam Honda, thank you for joining me. You guys trip me out with y'all's names sometimes. They're so cool. Awesome. Okay, so that's the channel news tonight. I'm going to share a few things that are happening in our world. I think um, that are important and for you guys to hear. So I found this. I think this is San Francisco Gate. It's a news platform online, and this is about Burning Man. If you don't know, in California, there's a thing called Burning Man, and it's just a place for uh, debauchery. Let me just say that, right? So, um, this weekend at Burning Man, a man was killed there, and his remains are unidentified. And what it says here is that authorities are asking the public for information about a homicide that happened on Saturday at Burning Man. It says the county sheriff's office is asking for help identifying a white man between the ages of 35 and 40 who was found dead lying in a pool of blood on Saturday evening. The man is 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, with short brown hair and facial hair, the sheriff's office said. He was found after an attendee flagged down the deputy from the sheriff's office as the festival's wooden effigy called the man began to burn. Well, it looks like when you go to Burning Man, there is a lot of stuff that is happening there. So, it's you can look at it as a lot of people will say, well, it's a place to go hear music, it's a place to go do all this and go do all that. But it's also a place where there is a tent that is specifically specified for an open orgy. Um, Drugs and things are passed around in there. So, yeah, I would be careful if you are planning to go to Burning Man because situational awareness, guys, it is it is an ever-present thing for us to actually be in the state of in our everyday life since 9/11, right? I mean, it's just insane. So guys, keep aware of where you are. It's so important. Here's another one. This is from The Guardian. It says, let's see, a boy who's 11 years old shot dead after playing the doorbell ring prank in Houston, police say. The boy was struck several times as he and his friends played Ding Dong Ditch, which involves ringing the doorbell and running. If you didn't know that. So this 11-year-old boy was just playing this game with his friends and was shot dead on Saturday as he ran away from the house. Authorities said the boy was struck several times and he and his friends were going house to house, ringing the doorbell and running from there. Yeah, it is a pretty tragic thing. I think parents need to be more aware of what their kids are doing and be more in their life so they're not doing this kind of thing. And maybe even looking into their friends. I remember my wife would tell the kids, "You're not going over to anybody's house unless I know them. I know their mom and their dad, and I have their phone number, so that way I know what's happening at all times." And whenever they would go, she would check in and make sure that they were there. I mean, that's just being a concerned parent, right? You want to protect your children, and you don't want them to be doing crazy things like this to where they just are found unalived. So that happened in the news. Another piece of news. This is in the world. Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, vows to declare a republic in arms if the U.S. forces in the Caribbean attack Venezuela. Um, yeah, so good luck with that. Yeah, I think you're not ready for the Marines or the Navy at this point, right? So yeah, let's keep this in prayer, guys. Um, this can become hot really quick, and we don't want it to become hot, right? We don't want our soldiers to be in any kind of trouble. Hi, Shelly. Welcome tonight. Welcome. I'm glad you're here with us. And so yeah, that's in the news. So let's keep that in prayer. Um, you know, they're trying to stop the um, the trafficking of drugs, and they found where it's coming from, and they're trying to stop it. Right? It's that the cartels and the narco president in Mexico. So yeah, let's keep all of that in prayer, and that God would fix that for us. Because yeah, I would hate for our guys to go to war just because of that. But yeah, let's keep that in our thoughts and prayer. In other news, you guys remember Rudy Giuliani? Well, he was injured Saturday night when he was in a vehicle. He was riding in as a rear. He was rear-ended in New Hampshire on the highway, and he was hospitalized. Um, there, he is the former mayor of New York City and a lawyer for President Trump, and he was in high spirits after leaving the hospital and heading home so that he can, I guess, get better. I guess he was released from the hospital on Saturday, and he was in high spirits, as they say. So that came out that he was in that crash, and then short after that, President Trump tweeted that he is going to honor Giuliani with the President Medal of Freedom. So that is coming up pretty soon. He made that announcement, just a couple of days after his car crash. So just be watching that thing right there. Another thing that I want to say is I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers in the preparedness field talk about how they have not seen President Trump. It's been a few days now, and there are rumors that he's ill, or he's passed away. And so I just want to kind of clear the air about that, because it's a holiday. The government shuts down for holidays. And if you didn't know that, it doesn't take a scientist to know that, the banks are closed when there's a holiday like this. And the trash doesn't come and pick up your trash because it's a holiday. And so I would imagine that President Trump and his family are celebrating Labor Day, just like Labor Day weekend, just like the rest of America. There is a huge conversation online about the president either being ill because of what his hands look like. And come on, guys, if if President Trump was ill and not fit for service and maybe possibly unalived, we would hear it so fast from the left that you know, it would slap us in the face. And so the reason why you haven't heard anything is because President Trump is on Labor Day weekend vacation. So come on, guys. Let's talk about things that we need to talk about rather than fueling conspiracy and fueling things like that. I mean, if you are so into President Trump that you need to know his every move, yeah, you might want to start doing something different. I'm just saying. Um, come on, guys. Let's pray for him. If you want to do anything, pray for him. I think that's the thing, right? Um, anything for clicks, Shelly says. That is correct. You are so right on that. Anything for clicks. She said I saw that as well. Who's this? Saltness says I saw that as well, saying that they've cloned him. Yes, I mean if you think about it, guys, you're right. If you think about it, this is what they did when Biden was president, right? There were a few times that um, they said that he had died or he was so frail that he was about to, kick the bucket or whatever. The truth is, he just probably kind of wandered off somewhere. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. You knew I had to go there. So yeah, so I mean, you're right. Yes, clickbait. You are absolutely right, Glenn. Clickbait. So I mean, yeah, I just couldn't believe when I was, watching the people that I watch into that idea that maybe, just maybe, President Trump um, has died on us. So, like I said, if that was true, the left would really, really, really love to let us know. So yeah. Okay, so that's all of the news that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. If you just to kind of like bring you up to date, I have if you guys follow me on TikTok, there is a post I posted the other day, and let me see, let me pull it up over here because I want to give you the accurate thing. Um,
So we're here today in what's left of the Pacific Palisades.
that I like that guy. The devil is a Democrat. If you haven't heard that song, that's a nutty song. Okay, so I posted a post on TikTok the other day, and it says man gives his baby daughter Benadryl because he wanted alone time with his wife. Now he has been convicted of manslaughter because the baby died. Um, I have been posting. That's not the only one. There's been some other stuff that I've been posting and seeing a lot of that are happening of things like that. People leaving their kids in the car, in a hot car. People, kids just running out randomly in the street, little baby kids in diapers, and people are like, Where's this kid come from?" Cops are called. The kid got out of the house. Mom didn't know, and so they're getting in trouble. I mean, yeah, it drives me nuts to see that, because it is, hurts my heart to see that because I love kids. And so anyway, that post that I posted is right now sitting at 5,616 views. That was crazy. People have really I don't think I've had any comments on it just yet, but people are clicking on that and reading that story. So guys, I would encourage you that when you um, look at your news in your local area, pay attention to things like that, because it tells me that, just like on that post, I said, people's priorities are in the wrong place. And so, it's I pray for parents, and our pastor has been doing a study, actually, a new series on parenting. Awesome, phenomenal um, messages that he's been sharing, and it is I see that a lot of parents either are not paying attention, or they're only thinking of themselves, um, or they're just really not into taking care of their kids. And just be praying for that, because I'm seeing a lot of that. Salt Miss says ridiculous. There's another I unpopulated because of clickbait stuff and questionable content. Yeah. Um, hey, brother John, welcome to our live tonight. It's good to see you, my friend John. That's awesome. Thank you, John, for joining us. So all of those things I have been really seeing, and parents need prayer. So if you guys wanna add that to your prayer list, is praying for parents, because I'm seeing a lot of that, especially in the city where I live. A lot of parents are forgetting their kids in the car, and the car, the recent one my wife pointed out to me was, um, everybody went to the store. They got off the car at the house. The mom thought the father got the child in the car seat out, and the father thought the same thing of his wife, or his wife. And the wife went and laid down to go to sleep, and the baby stayed in the hot car for I don't know how long. And so, until it was one of the kids that said, "Hey, where's so and so?" And they're like, "Oh snap! Oh yeah, we have another kid, and we left him in the car." And all the windows rolled up, and the kid just gasping for air. It is crazy. Parents need prayer today, and so let's keep that idea in prayer. All right. So what I want to talk about is kind of tonight. Um, is what I've kind of been talking about, right? If you follow me enough, you know that I'm always talking about situational awareness. I'm always telling you guys that we need to really be aware wherever we go, right? You've heard me say thousands of times, when Fernando goes to the restaurant with his family, he sits in a particular spot where he's able to see everything, right? In and out, things like that, right? That's just how I've been. I used to work in prison, so that's a thing that, um, of how I see things, ever since my tenure working in with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Um, so you guys hear me talk about that here recently. I've also been talking to you about practicing with your preps, right? So today we had my granddaughter's birthday party, but Sunday we were at my daughter's house getting ready for the party for today, right? And you know, the week prior, I've been telling you guys, you know, are your flashlights charged? I've been telling you guys, practice with your preps, right? I've been telling you guys, um, you know, do a lights out scenario, and see how you can change in that scenario, how you can adjust, right? Let's say the lights did go out. Maybe you go pull the breaker, and you simulate this at home. I've been telling you that all this last week, right? And so, there's never a place that I go, um, without my comms bag. This is my comms bag. It has everything comms, and so I took that bag with me, And you guys have seen my sling bag video. I had my sling bag with me, and in these 2 bags, I have everything that I need to power my cell phone, to power my Meshtastic device, to power both my radios. I also, in that same bag, have 2 extra walkies that are FRS that I can communicate with my GMRS radio. And I also have a flashlight on each bag and a knife on each bag and many other things. I have um, battery chargers, the solar battery chargers. I also have on my comms bag, I have a solar panel that I can flip out to charge my phones, to charge my solar batteries, to charge my radios, whatever, right? I have all of that stuff, plus all the cordage that goes with all of those things, and double because, you know, 2 is 1 and 1 is, or 1 is, yeah, you know what I mean. We say it all the time. And so I have a backup for my backup, in other words. And so all of that stuff went with me. Well, as I'm sitting outside in the backyard, I am seeing this huge, huge storm that is coming our way on that side of town and at my daughter's house. And so I pull out, because I also had my tablet with me. I pull out my tablet and I pull up the radar on my tablet, and I am watching this huge storm, which, you know, went half, well, yeah, I would say the whole middle of Texas, right? And so this storm is just plowing through, and I see it. I'm on the far east end of the city where I live, and so all of the west part of the city got it first. And so what did Fernando do? He took the opportunity to practice with his preps. And I was so into it. Let me tell you, I was so into it. I did not get any footage of it. Let me tell you why. Because it was, look, you know, I've been waiting for this, and, you know, the Lord set it up. I'm just going to say that. The Lord set it up, and I had everything because, you know, all that stuff goes with me. My wife gets upset at me sometimes. Why do you got to bring all that stuff? This is why, right? So I took out my GMRS radio and I had that sucker going. I took out my ham radio. I don't have a ham radio license, but I can listen. And so with my ham radio, I had it set up for emergency. So the emergency, like for ambulance and for fire trucks, right? I had that set up in our area. The police are on digital, so I don't have a digital radio yet. So I'm listening to that. Um, I also have I also had my um, my weather radio just in case I needed it, but I was using the radar. And so all of a sudden, I just kind of get on the radio and give my location. I talk about what I'm seeing that is in front of me, coming toward me, right? And another friend of mine comes out on there, and his name is Padre, and he begins the weather net that we started, and him and I and other people began to start, you know, talking about their area of town, where they are, and what kind of weather they're experiencing. We were reported a lot of things, and so across this net, we were able to target specific areas in town where there were flooding, where flooding was happening, maybe where there was an accident that someone saw. And actually, on my ham radio, I was listening to all of the places where houses were caught on fire by the lightning storm, the huge lightning storm we were having, and how they were just, you know, catching houses and just open fields on fire. John Plato says that storm was wild. Yes, it was. Thank you, John. And so, it was so neat. I was into all of this, right? I was on the radio. I was listening to the ham radio. I was watching the radar, and everything everybody was confirming, I was seeing it on the radar. And so, um, I also have my Meshtastic device, and I was there texting on that because at my daughter's house, I was close to a node, and I was able to connect to that really quick. And so I was throwing that out there, and a few people were watching that information go across. If you're not aware of Meshtastic devices, they are a very small radio, and you can actually Bluetooth your phone to this, and your phone doesn't need to be on the network because it Bluetooths to this little radio. I believe, off the top of my head, is a 991.5 megahertz antenna, and it's on that frequency. So you're able to text message over radio waves with this device, and so I had that going, and then I also have, because part of my comms plan in good times that we still have cell phone usage. That's my primary, right? And so I have all of my family. We have this family chat, and so I throw everybody in that chat, and we talk about. I send them weather updates, screenshots, and all that kind of stuff, so everybody is aware, right? And so I'm telling you, this was live fire last night, and it was awesome. What was that repeater? That is the Northwest repeater, John. So that's where I'm on. I usually also lead the Tuesday night net on that repeater. I can give you that later on. Off the top of my head, I forget. It's 462 62 500. I think I'll send it to you on Facebook. So yeah. I'm telling you, I was neck deep in all of that last night, and I stayed outside the whole time, reporting all of this and practicing my preps, guys. This is the point I want to talk to you about because it gets even better after this, right? So it was really, really cool. After a while, I had to go in because of all the rain. My equipment was now getting wet. I had kind of like inched to the center of the back patio there at my daughter's house, and after a while, the whole thing was finally getting wet. So I ended up having to go inside and kind of monitor from inside. Was that on the Northwest repeater? Yes, that was the Northwest repeater. So so yeah, so it was to me it was a beautiful storm. I like weather. I went and got trained. I got a certificate for storm spotter, and so I have that certification, and I use that with my comms, and so. Um, we were able to help people who were stranded, and people were like, well, I was actually heading in that direction, I'll just go back home. And so it was really cool. So that this was me practicing with my comms preps, right? I was utilizing every piece of equipment, right? And so with me, I had all of my solar chargers. I didn't have my big ones. I have two kind of big ones, but I have the smaller ones that fit in my bag. And so anyway, I was able to keep all of that charged. And after a while, um, in the house, when the rain was past and everything was good, right? The lights went out. And no, Fernando didn't go and pull the main breaker. The lights went out in the area where my daughter lives. And I'm like, do you guys have a flashlight? And they're like, yeah, we have one. They run to get it, and um, it does not work. So what does dad do? dad pulls from his bag. I pull one of my flashlights off my bag, and if you follow my social media, I did a reel. I did all that on TikTok and Instagram and all that. I did a reel of me outside, and talking to the audience and everybody inside with my flashlight on the on the um, the bar there in the kitchen, pointing up, and it kind of lit the kitchen area in the house. And so, we actually I actually got to practice with my preps, not just my comms preps, but all of the other preps that I have and I keep with me that I tell you guys on a weekly morning video about testing your preps, about making sure your flashlights are charged, making sure you have extra batteries. All of that I talk about came in handy. And it was a teachable moment for the kids that anything can happen. And if you're not ready, you can be in a world of hurt. And so, the bullish repeater, good stuff. Yes, it is, John. It sure is. And so, it was, I was excited. You guys know me. I'm always excited about this kind of stuff. And so, I was like a kid in a candy store. Well, I have a flashlight. Well, I have this and I have that. And everybody's just like, huh, you better have it because you're God's prepared warrior. That's what my son-in-law was telling me. So, it was a pretty neat weekend. So I got to actually do what I tell you guys to do, like on a full-time basis. And so, I couldn't wait for today to come and tell you guys this story because I was so excited. And my wife and I came back home. She was actually in contact with our neighbor to see if we were out of light here at the house, but we weren't. We actually live on a pretty good grid on our side of town, and so they didn't have their light until midnight back on. So they spent a little bit of time. I left my flashlight there so that they could use it. They needed it, and I had another one. So remember, you got to have a backup for your backup. And so um, I tell you that, guys, because it's important for us to practice with our preps. If you got a radio, great, praise the Lord for that. But practice with your radio, right? Make it a point that you are on that thing, right? Never in the world that I ever think that I would be doing this with communications. Remember, you guys know my story. Um, I didn't know any of that stuff, and I kind of jumped into the deep end of the pool with that. And now I'm leading Tuesday Night Nets on the GMRS group that I'm part of, and never would I have ever thought that would be me doing that. But I'm just that kind of guy that's not afraid to step into stuff, to step in and do things, right? To learn things. I'm always wanting to learn. And so I always want to encourage people to always learn. We can always learn, right? Just the simplicity of having this radio. This is a cheap Baofeng radio. This is my GMRS radio, and I am connected to a plethora of the GMRS repeaters that are here where I live, and I am constantly listening on that thing. I am also constantly listening to my ham radio. This is a cheap $25 Baofeng UV5R, right? Yeah, UV5R, and I have it set up to listen to emergency broadcasts. And so I don't communicate on it because I don't have a license yet, but I listen and I learn. I'm learning how to use this radio, even though I'm barely learning. But I account all of this to two things. Number one, the grace of God, because it is through him that I can do these things, right? Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I draw strength from the Lord to do these things because I'm not a smart guy, you know, I'm really not. And but I've jumped into this and I have found a community that I've met twice already. They came out to our coffee trailer, and we had a big group meet at my coffee trailer. And so that was a really awesome Saturday to see all of the guys that I talk on radio on every Tuesday night at our coffee shop. And so it was really neat to see them and communicate with them and connect with them and create community because that's what we should be doing. Um, and it was really neat to do that. So I just want to encourage you guys, don't be afraid to learn new things. John will tell you, John, my friend here, because I follow him on Facebook, and he's doing a lot of cool things in my area, and I'm really wanting to join him on some of those things. And actually, I will be joining a group in Centerpoint this month, and they have asked me to talk about urban prepping. And so I'm going to be talking about my story, what I do in this urban juggle, and how I prepare. And so don't be afraid, guys, to learn a new thing. Like I said, I'm not a technical person. And, you know, I did have trouble learning how to use this equipment, but I found a few good friends who took me under their wing and began to show me this thing. That's why I tell people, I'll show you how to use this equipment. Shoot me an email and I will walk you through this process because it is a little hard to learn if you've never messed with GMRS radio or ham radio. It is a bit to learn, but it's not it's something that you can learn if you just try it, you know. And it's like anything else, you got to keep using it to keep it fresh in the mind and to have that muscle memory to do it. So think about that, guys, when somebody or you watch a video and they're telling you about comms, or they're telling you about off-grid living, things like that. Don't be afraid to try new things because guess what? Honestly, you're gonna really need to learn this stuff for yourself. Um, I'm being honest with you. If poop ever hits the fan, right? It's gonna be you and your family, and you're gonna have to take care of things, and you're gonna need to know how to take care of yourself. And I would encourage you, stock up now while the time is good. You know, get your freedom seeds, get your boomsticks ready. If you don't have that stuff, at least get something, right? Because when poop hits the fans, grocery stores aren't going to exist anymore. Things like that, and we're going to have to do a lot of things on our own. And so that's why I'm trying to learn how to do all of this right now, right? You've seen me. You know, I started this planning season with my victory garden, and boy, it started out awesome. I was growing all kinds of stuff, but then the bugs ate my stuff. So I'm telling you, I'm new at this still, and I'm learning, but I am jumping into it, and I'm learning along the way. And so I want to encourage you guys to keep learning. You're welcome, my brother John. You guys need to keep learning. Try something new. Don't be afraid. And like I said, if you need help, shoot me an email at godspreparedwarrior@gmail.com, and I will help you. And if I don't know the answer, I know a lot of people who can help us. So, you know, make sure you're doing that. Make sure that you're practicing with your preps because it comes in handy. I'm telling you, this weekend was just, you know, awesome for me to be able to do this thing, and it was really cool to hear everybody else chiming in on where they were, what they were seeing, how people were actually on the road. They had their radio in their vehicle, and they were like, "Thanks for letting me know. I'm turning back home," because we know how it gets here where I live. And if you're in certain parts of town, you can. It's happened recently, so it's important for us to be practicing with our preps. And this happened this weekend, and so I went again today with all of my stuff because they said it was going to rain. It didn't rain at my daughter's house again, but it did rain over at our house when we got home today. The ground was really wet. The streets were wet on our side of town. And so, guys, I cannot tell you enough how important it is for you to, on a daily basis, to be looking at your preps, to make sure that those things work, right? You've spent money on buying those things. Make sure they're working. Make sure they're in proper order, because in due season, the time will come, and you're going to have to utilize those things that you have. And whether that's a storm that comes through, whether that's something that happens in our lives, maybe we reach that ultimate poop hits the fan day, right? But let us be ready, right? You've always heard me say you can't be ready for everything, but you can be ready for anything, right? Because we know that you can't just prep for one thing. I've heard it so many times. Well, I'm prepping for the financial collapse. Well, what if something else happens? You should be prepping and looking at other things too. This is why I say, whatever happens elsewhere that you see, look at that and ask yourself, am I ready for if that situation comes here where I'm at, right? It's like the earthquakes and stuff that are happening in other worlds, right? Or in other worlds, in other countries. I look at those things, and well, I live in Texas, and we've really never had any earthquakes. But because of oil fracking and things like that, we're now beginning to experience those things, right? But I've never been through that. So when I see that, I always ask myself, am I ready for that kind of situation, right? If that happens here where I'm at, um, you know, am I ready for that thing, right? And so, you should do the same thing. If something that you see is happening, you should ask yourself, am I ready for that thing? So, yeah. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it happened to me, and so I'm always going to tell you what I experience, and what are the things that if I'm testing something, if it works, I'm always going to share that with you because I'm with you guys. I'm not I don't claim to be a know-it-all about stuff, but I will try it all. I'm telling you, I will try it all. I will learn it all, and I will jump into that thing and learn how to do it. So, I'll encourage you. I'm 52 years old, and never did I think that I would be leading a net, GMRS net on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Where I live, and that's what I do. And so I don't know. We'll see. I get a break tomorrow. I think my friend is going to be leading tomorrow's net, but I will be there. And guys, I will encourage you, take out those radios if you got them, utilize them, talk on them. You might say, Fernando, I'm afraid to talk on them. Don't be afraid. You're not afraid when you go to the grocery store and you talk to people over there. You're not afraid when you go to these other places where you go and you talk. It's the same thing. Just get on there and talk. Fernando, I don't know the lingo. You don't have to. You can actually Google it if you want and learn. My corrections experience kind of gave me a leg up on that. Working with radio and stuff in that field. But it's not really hard to learn. And guys, I would just encourage you, make sure all of your stuff is working. And if you guys want a list and you want me to put out a God's Prepared Warrior list, I'll do that. I'll throw it on my website so you guys can have it and download the PDF. I'll actually start working on that so that you guys can have that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that experience. What did you guys do today? I would like to know what you guys did. Is there anything special you guys did today for Labor Day weekend? People were telling me, what should I do? I said prep. If you're not gonna spend time with people or anything, prep it up, right? Don't stop prepping. Thank you, James, for joining us over here on TikTok. Thank you, guys. I have 64 new messages. Okay, great. Awesome. Shelly, you're saying nope to what? Saltness says, I had a little niece over for the weekend. That's awesome. Spending time with family. That's good. Glenn says, cleaned up at the house. All right, that's good. That is prepping, right? Shelly, are you saying nope? You didn't prep this weekend? That's okay. I won't hold it against you. That's awesome. That's good. Yeah, we spent time with family this weekend, and it was pretty fun. Pretty fun. I had a pretty good. I had 3 days, right, with today off. So go back to work tomorrow. My body's probably going to be killing me, but that's okay. That's why we have Motrin. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm so glad that you guys were here with me, and on this Monday. I knew we were going to have some people missing today, but that's okay. That is quite all right, and I'm just glad that you guys were here for me. John says I rotated food and cooked some chickens that we processed a couple of weeks ago. That is awesome, John. See, I'm telling you, John does some good stuff. He does some good stuff. He's a good guy to learn from. Saltman says, have a great weekend, guys. Yeah, or have a great week. Yes. So, guys, don't forget that tomorrow, well, it's not, I didn't do it today, but tomorrow, usually on Mondays, I put out my devotional. If you guys have not signed up at the website, go to the description in this on this video or in any of my videos. Go to my website, go to the contact page, sign up to get the devotional that I post on Monday, which I'll post tomorrow because of the holiday. In your inbox, say, hey, Fernando, I want that in my inbox. You're only giving me your name and your email address, and all I'm sending you is that document, also the blog document that I release on Tuesdays, and which will be our blog this week will be on Wednesday, and then maybe a video or two that I do during the week. But if you don't get that, you have to wait till the end of the week when I post it on all socials, the link for that stuff. So, you get it for free, and I don't really bug you that much about stuff, but I always want you guys to start off your week with the Word, God's Word in hand, to start your week off right. And I'm just gonna say, me and God have these great conversations whenever we're working on that together. So if you haven't done that, go to the website, go to the contact page, fill out that little information, and I will get a message saying that you want that in your inbox, and I'll send it to you on Monday and Tuesday. Other than that, guys, follow all our social media, share it with your friends and family, and let's get the word out there. I really want to start a community here in my area of like-minded people who want to start working together and doing things together, helping others, helping them to learn about prepping, learn about comms, learn about all these things that I learned, so that they can get on that wagon and start doing them themselves. Because I don't want to hold anything. I just want to teach people how to do stuff, because I think that's what we should be doing. And we should be helping people not hindering them, right? So guys, follow all of my social media. Let's get the word out. And I also want to help you guys wherever you are. Start a God's Prepared Warrior community where you are. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to let you go 5 minutes early today. And have a great rest of your Labor Day Monday. And hope to see you on tomorrow morning's video. Be safe out there, guys. And I am praying for you guys always. And hope to see you again. Thank you, guys. Be safe. Thank you, Glenn, Shelly, and Salt Miss, and John. Thank you, guys, for joining me tonight. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you on the next video.